Jaguar is moving into the meat of the premium marketplace with this car, their very first SUV or crossover. This is based on the platform they're using for their major model offensive. Last year we got the XF. This morning we had a chance to drive the XE, and built on top of that same platform is this vehicle, the F-Pace. You can see direct lineage back to the F-Type in terms of styling. It's got a very aggressive look. It's a great looking SUV, and it's not very often you get excited about driving a new crossover. But this isn't any crossover company. This is Jaguar's first, and we're here in Colorado to try it out. XE, the XF, and this F-Pace are all built off the same platform, and they're all aluminum, about 80% aluminum. They all use aluminum suspension and have similar engines. So this F-Pace is basically running on the same platform with a different, what they call top hat on top. And you get all the same goodness. Those cars handle exceptionally well, and Jaguar has done an excellent job, especially with the suspension, the handling, and the steering. It just feels oh so good. When we had a chance to speak to the engineers at the XF launch, they made a big deal about how much effort Jaguar put in to the suspension, and it all dials in to produce a great feeling vehicle. The one I'm driving right now is the S, that gets 380 horsepower, a 40 horsepower bump, and it's going to all four wheels through an 8-speed ZF box. Now, this all-wheel drive system has the ability to just run mostly on the rear wheels for the most dynamic feel. It can shift the torque around depending on aggressive driving and handling or slippery situations. So it's all working together well. It also has torque vectoring. When you get a little bit out of shape in a corner, it'll help grab you and pull you back in. Now, the engine configuration that we don't have here today is the base model. That is the 2-liter turbocharged diesel engine with 318 pound-feet of torque, but only 180 horsepower. So we've got the 340 and the 380 supercharged 6, but not that engine. We have driven it in the XE, but not in this F-Pace, and it would be nice to give it a shot because a lot of people are going to choose that engine. What I'm hoping is maybe when this product becomes a little bit more mature, it's been out in the marketplace for a little longer, they'll put that fantastic 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine that's found in the Range Rover Sport in this vehicle. So it would be sporty, powerful, and efficient. That would be the perfect F-Pace. So we have had a lot of seat time today in all different kinds of Jaguars, starting out with the XE, then the F-Pace with the 380 horsepower, now into the 340 horsepower. It's interesting going from the sedan that this car is kind of based on this similar platform, and you notice right away with the F-Pace there's a lot more body roll, and it's top heavy and it feels heavier. But the one thing I've come to appreciate, the more you drive this car, it rolls to a certain point and then it has a whole lot of traction. So it's very confidence inspiring. That initial body roll takes a little while to get used to coming out of the car, but if you drove this every day, you can plug this into a corner, get it around. It has so much stability. It's got that perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It really is a wonderful vehicle to drive. Now, we also had a chance to take this off-road, pretty light off-road stuff, but they wanted to showcase the fact that they have a setting here. It's like off-road cruise control, borrowed from the Land Rover side of the family, and you basically can crawl up or down off-road terrain. Doesn't have any way of raising or lowering the suspension like you would with a Range Rover or a Land Rover, but the fact that it has that might be, you know, kind of reassuring for somebody that needs to get to their cottage on the weekend. So this F-Pace in Canada starts at roughly $50,000, which is more than the competitive set X3, Q5, GLC, but it's bigger. So you get an upgraded interior in terms of space, a really big trunk around the back, good amount of leg room, and a bigger cabin. So it's competing sort of in between an X3 and an X5, or a Q5 and a Q7. So you get a sort of a one-up size. And it also has some idiosyncrasies. A couple of things I'm not crazy about is the shifter in the center here, which is the same in all Jaguar products, takes up a lot of real estate. And speaking to the engineers and planners here on this trip, they acknowledge that, and maybe I'm reading into it that there could be some changes afoot there. Also, the volume control is on the passenger side. So sure, you've got radio controls on the steering wheel, but that's closer to that side. Is it a hangover from the fact that this is a British car and the driver typically sits on that side? Also, the materials in here, the bottoms of the door and the bottom of the glove box are all hard, inexpensive plastic. When you look at the German competition, for example, they have sort of a rubberized film on there. Yeah, some people say, well, who cares? Well, it doesn't scratch as easily and doesn't show scuffs and marks. And when you're buying a 50,000 plus vehicle, you kind of expect to have those materials embedded in here. Now let's get to the good news. The space is good. You get a standard 8-inch in-control touch system and a 5-inch TFT in between the instrument gauges here. That's standard equipment. You also have an available Pro version, which gets you a 10.2-inch screen in the center, and I used that a lot yesterday. And then it also adds the fully digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel. That's a very nice upgrade. That's standard on the top S version of this F-Pace and available on the higher trim levels of the lower grades. So it is available. So overall, nice looking cabin, comfortable, seats are good, love the driving position. It feels more like a car than an SUV, but there are a few things that could be tweaked for sure. So this F-Pace starts at $50,000 in Canada for the diesel engine. If you want to get the first V6 supercharged at 340 horsepower, that vehicle starts at basically $54,000, and the top dog is $66,500 for the S that gets you the 380 horsepower, but also gets you that bigger in-dash screen and the screen behind the steering wheel. It really is a striking looking vehicle. The styling is a winner. It's been turning heads everywhere we've gone. Wheel sizes range from 19 to 22 inches depending on what model you get. And it does make a difference in the handling department, so opting for a bigger wheel might not be a bad idea. This is already selling incredibly well on pre-orders. The diesel probably won't be available for a few months yet, but if you're lucky enough to get an F-Pace, enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. If you'd like to watch a video of the all-new Jaguar XE, click the picture on the left.